HTML5 places a much heavier emphasis on structural markup than previous versions of the language. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a basic layout using HTML5 structural tags in Dreamweaver. And I'm in split view, and you can see that I do have a CSS rule set up. That's just to help us visualize this a bit. Now, at the top of the document, you can also see that I have the wonderfully simple HTML5 doc type, which is just doctype HTML. Let's start by going into the body tag, and I'll create a little room there. And I'm going to go ahead and start at the very top of the page where the header should be. So instead of putting in div ID header, I'm just going to start with typing in header. And I'll put in a couple of letters, HEA, and you can see here in the code hinting that we also have header. So I'll just go ahead and choose that and hit return or enter, and then close the tag. And I'm going to go ahead, create a couple of lines because I'm going to put something inside of that. And I will complete it by putting in the opening caret and then the backward slash. And because I have code completion turned on, Dreamweaver goes ahead and fills in the header tag. So within the header, let's say that we have our navigation. I'll go ahead and put in nav. And you notice again, we have the code hinting. I'm going to go ahead and put nav here and then close that out. Well, let me add a little text here just so you see where header would go. And if I click over into the design view, you can see what my CSS is doing. It's just giving me a little bit of a structural overview of how everything fits together. All right, we have our header. Now, following the header in HTML5, you typically have either an article or a section. In this case, I'm going to start with a section. And put in that identifying text. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in article. And let's close that off. And I'll add another article because in HTML5, you can have multiple articles within the section. Now, in addition to articles in HTML5, you can have what are called asides. An aside is similar to a sidebar. So let me go ahead and type in, start a aside here and complete that. And then close out that tag. Now let me scroll down just a little bit. And here I see that I did not close out section. So just let me hit return and then enter in the closing tag. Now when I go over to design view, I can see my layout, how it's set up with a section, one article, another article, and then finally an aside. Now all that's remaining on this page that we need is a footer. So let's put that after the section tag. And just as we did before, we'll start with opening the tag caret and beginning to type, and there's font and footer. I'll scroll down to footer and hit return. Dreamweaver completes it for me. And I put in the footer information, click into design view, and there you have it. A very full page set up with HTML5 tags. In the rest of this chapter, we'll dive deeper into each of these main structural tags to give you a fuller view of how they work in HTML5.